the minister plus the team are going to address us on issues concerning the loan beneficiaries for the financial year 2024-2025. Before we have the Honorable Minister, you allow me to welcome Mr. Michael Wanyama. I used to call him Doctor, but today I'm now getting back to that track, to introduce the delegation which is here, give us the opening remarks, and as well invite the Honorable Minister to address us. You're most welcome, Mr. Wanyama.
The Executive Director of the Higher Education Students Financing Board. We are here to release the list of the successful students who applied for the loans for the academic year 2024-2025. And the Minister of Education, ably represented here by the Minister of State for Higher Education, Dr. Jesse Muyingo, is with us here to officially do that. He is accompanied by the Chairman of the Board, Dr. Engineer Wana Charles Etienne. You're most welcome. The PS is also ably represented by the Commissioner of Scholarship and Student Affairs. We also have one of the board members representing the National Council for Higher Education, Reverend Canon Dr. Kagume. You're most welcome. The board member representing students, Mr. Cherkut Toskin, you're most welcome. The Commissioner, University Education Training, Timothy Sejova, you're most welcome. And the Communication Officer from Ministry of Education, you're most welcome. On my right, I have staff from the Higher Education Students Financing Board. I know one of the staff of your interest will be Mr. Bosa Kizito, who is the Director of Operation, who is in charge of what we are releasing this morning. So allow me recognize the presence of the Minister of State for Education, the Chairperson of the Board, the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Education and Sports, board members of Higher Education Students Financing Board, the two commissioners from the Ministry of Education and Sports, representatives of the Ministry of Education and Sports, the staff of Higher Education Students Financing Board, the press, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, my name is Michael Wanyama. I'm the Executive Director. I'm pleased to welcome you all to the release of the 11th cohort of the student loan beneficiaries. I extend my appreciation and thank you for accepting our invitation. In a special way, I'd like to welcome Honorable Dr. Jesse Muyingo, Minister of State for Education, and thank you for coming to officiate at this momentous occasion. Thank you for the support and guidance you continuously offer to the Governance Board and the Secretariat of the Student Loan Scheme. I'd like to express my heartfelt gratitude to the board members for their exceptional leadership and stewardship. Your impact has been profound, and we are thankful for the time, energy, and expertise you have invested in the board activities. We appreciate the significant contributions you have made in ensuring that the list of the successful student loan beneficiaries comes out on time. I'd also like to recognize the staff of SFEP and thank you for working tirelessly and diligently to deliver the list of the successful student loan beneficiaries for the approval of the board and the sector ministry. Your passion and commitment to excellence has driven our success, and I'm grateful for your hard work. Thank you, the entire staff, for your outstanding contributions. They deserve a clap. I'd like to welcome and thank the Permanent Secretary for the support given to the board that has ensured that the financial resources are allocated and remitted timely. I thank the entire staff of the ministry for the pleasant working relationship You have offered the necessary support and guidance required by the board. I would like to welcome the press and thank you for being our good allies and for always positively covering issues concerning the student loan scheme. You have always done a remarkable job, for which I would like to acknowledge you and thank you. Honorable Minister, the journey for the selection of the student loan beneficiaries for the academic year 2024-2025 started on 10th June 2024, when we invited interested applicants to send in their applications till 31st July 2024. We received a total of 6,661 applications, whereby a total of 2,880 applications were ineligible for various reasons, leaving only 3,781 applications to be reviewed for selection. Of this, a total of 1,838 applications were successful within the available resource envelope of 7.25 billion meant to support the first-year students. On average, the board shall support only 27.5% of the applicants. The board notes that the number of younger people who need the student loan is more than the number of the loan opportunities available. Hence, many needed students do not get the chance to be funded. The 72.5% of the applicants were not successful due to the limited financial resource envelope, and the details of this will be given in the chairman's report. Honorable Minister, the board has ensured gender equity, which is a great milestone for the girl child doing science programs, which was formerly dominated by male. Of the 1,838 successful applicants, the female are 790. This is 43%. We're above the upper limit of the 30% that the board has ever awarded to the girls. The board also awarded 29 persons with disabilities to do various courses in sciences and humanitarian programs. Persons with disabilities are deliberately targeted to do any course they are admitted for that ensures that they have equal opportunities to succeed and contribute to their communities. Honorable Minister, the board has continued to improve on the application mode and made it user-friendly. The application process is solely online and has led to the application process to be fast, improved on data accuracy, and cut down on the cost of transport for the applicants. The online process has helped to reduce on applicants' influx to our office, hence allowing staff to concentrate on their core activities. The board continues to assess one's eligibility based on the information provided by the applicant, which is thoroughly verified by staff. There is no need for human interface unless an applicant is called upon to clarify on some of the information that is submitted to the office. Honorable Minister, we applaud the government of Uganda for the introduction of the student loan scheme that has created opportunities to the less privileged learners to access higher education at both undergraduate and diploma levels. We continue to register boundless compliments and appreciation from the loan beneficiaries. We have very interesting stories from former scaries, border riders, site porters, and the maids who have benefited from this scheme to attain higher education. It's very gratifying to see such persons attain higher education on government support and contribute to the economic growth of our beloved country. In line with the law that establishes the scheme, the board, in approving the successful loan applicants, took into account the following. 1, an applicant must have proved to be a Ugandan, admitted for an accredited course or program of study, admitted in an accredited or chartered institution of higher learning, and applied for the loan. The board also takes consideration of regional balance, gender, socioeconomic status, and equity. The board takes into consideration, of course, in line with our law. This time around, 40% of all successful applicants were subjected to a uniform scorecard which considers proxy indicators to arrive at the lending decision. 30% for the first time were based on district quota, implying that every district got an equal number. Actually, each district got 3. If you had the 2, whether they were from fairly well-to-do family, it was automatic that those 2 had to qualify because we wanted to ensure regional balance. Then the other 30% also again on the district, but based on the district quota, but based on the proportionate number of applications per district. The higher the number of applications from that district, the higher the number of successful applicants. So in total, 60% of the successful loan beneficiaries were allocated these loans on regional balance. And the details are contained in the chairperson's report. The loans, therefore, have been awarded to the most deserving loan applicants who are the most needed among the applicants based on the above 3 parameters. Honourable Minister, the number of tertiary institutions benefiting from the scheme has continued to grow from 12 universities in the academic year 2014-2015 to now 25, and 33 other tertiary institutions. More universities are attaining charter status that qualifies them among eligible institutions. And the most recent one, Honourable Minister, is the Mutesa One Royal University and the University of Kisubi. I'm happy to inform you that these universities joined this year, and we have been able to award learners in those universities. Once again, I would like to thank you, Honourable Minister, for coming to officiate this function. I thank the board and the staff that has expeditiously concluded the exercise of awarding loans to the student beneficiaries, and further thank the sector ministry staff for the support and guidance always given to the board. Honourable Minister, I now take this honor to invite the chairperson of the board to give the detailed report, and who will in turn invite the permanent secretary to make his remarks, and also invite you to officially release the list of the successful loan beneficiaries. Thank you for listening to me. I sold this for God and my country. Have a pleasant day. Thank you.
I'm the chairperson of the Higher Education Students Financing Board. Our guest of honor, the Honorable Minister of State for Higher Education, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Education and Sports, my colleagues, the board members on HESFAB, the Commissioner for Higher Education and Training, representatives of the Ministry of Education and Sports, staff of the Higher Education Students Financing Board, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Higher Education Students Financing Board, we welcome you all to the 11th round of the release of the students' loan beneficiaries for the academic year 2024-2025. In a special way, I would like to welcome the Honorable Minister of State for Higher Education to this occasion, the board members and staff of the Ministry of Education and Sports, and of the board, and our friends from the different media houses. Honorable Minister, sir, through you, I convey my sincere appreciation to the Minister of Education and Sports for our support to the board and the entire ministry staff for the cordial working relationship between us. Honorable Minister, on behalf of the board, we appreciate your continued support and guidance given to the board and the good work you are doing for the education sector. We applaud you for ensuring that the government of Uganda continues to support brilliant but less privileged students who cannot afford the cost of higher education. Honorable Minister, the demand for students' loan has been increasing yearly, and this time around, we received a total of 6,661 applications, way above the 1,921 received last academic year. The board has worked tirelessly with the help of our able secretariat staff to accomplish the tasks on time. I do appreciate the board members and staff for the job well done. I would like to welcome and pay special tribute to the members of the press for your continued support and covering of our events. The press has given the student loan scheme activities wide coverage. It is our sincere prayer that you continue to report accurately on matters of financing higher education in the country. Honorable Minister, sir, it's now clear that the intended objectives of widening and broadening access to higher education is slowly being registered through increased number of students on the loan scheme, as highlighted in this report. The Higher Education Student Financing Board was established by an Act of Parliament in 2014 as a body corporate mandated to provide loans and scholarship to eligible citizens of Uganda and to enable them access higher education at affordable rates. And the objectives as outlined by, I think, the Act is one, to increase equitable access to higher education for all Ugandans; two, to support qualified students who cannot afford higher education; and three, to ensure regional balance in higher education services for all Ugandans; and four, to support programs which are deemed critical for national development; and five, to ensure a sustainable revolving loan fund. Honorable Minister, the board has worked hard to widen and broaden access to higher education. To date, a total of 16,439 students have been awarded loans in the various 25 universities, both public and private, and 33 other tertiary institutions. This is the 11th time that the board is awarding loans to students pursuing higher education at both universities and other tertiary institutions. We started way back in academic year 2014-2015, and the number has been increasing to the extent that as we talk now this year, we are going to award a total of 1,838 successful applicants. Honorable Minister, this brings the total number of the supported students, as I said, 16,439 from inception, which is a very good performance, for which we'd like to extend our gratitude to His Excellency the President for fulfilling his promise. In line with the law that establishes the scheme, the board is approving the successful loan application. In approving successful loan application, took into account the following criteria, which have already been outlined by the Executive Director. All applicants were subjected to a uniform scorecard, which considers proxy social economic indicators to arrive at the lending decision. This year, the board called for loan applications on the 10th of June 2024 in 3 newspapers of wide national outreach. This was followed by sensitization messages on community radios, TVs, and quite a lot of engagement was done using our social media handlers. These included Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, the WhatsApp, and the WhatsApp. Honorable Minister, you'll observe that our social media handles are doing us a great deal of outreach without spending much money in our sensitization effort. This academic year, the board adopted a 3 loan award selection model in which the Parliament's recommendation in line with Parliament's recommendation and aspiration. In selecting the successful loan application, the board considered every application on the basis of its social economic situation, where the integrated loan management information system awards points to determine the learner's level of vulnerability. We further went ahead to select applicants according to their districts of origin. In this way, 60% of students have been considered according to district quota, and 40% have been awarded this financial support according to their levels of social economic vulnerability. We are pleased to report that part of the country has had appropriate share of representation with emphasis on regional balance. May I repeat that, please? We are pleased to report that every part of the country has had appropriate share of representation with emphasis on regional balance. So nobody has been locked out. The board received a total of 6,661 applications compared to 1,925 received in the previous year, signifying a growth of 246%. I'm happy to report that we have beneficiaries from all districts of the country, and the loan award selection process took serious consideration to ensure a national outlook through regional balance. The districts known for low participation rates in the past, like Amudat, Buvuma, Kalangala, Karenga, Madi Okolo, Obongi, Kotidu, and Moroto, all have presented learners for support this year. Successful loan applicants. The number of successful loan applicants is 1,838, representing a success rate of 27.6% of the applications received. Of these, 1,048, that is 57%, are male, and while 790, which is 43%, are female. The 1,372 students are going to pursue undergraduate programs, while 466 are going to pursue diploma programs. Honorable Minister, sir, the total number of female successful applicants, as mentioned earlier, is 790, up from 317 supported last academic year. I have been informed that this is the highest number of female applicants that the board has awarded loans to since the inception of this program, and we hope the number will keep growing. Honorable Minister, we continue to award loans to persons with disabilities on affirmative action to pursue both science and humanities programs. At this time, a total of 29 students with disabilities were awarded loans to pursue both science and humanities courses. Of these, 18 are males, while 11 are females. I am sure by now you people know that for persons with disabilities, they are eligible for any course, whether sciences or arts. Okay? The science issue is only for able-bodied people like you and I. Of course, you're now too old for that, I'm too old for that, but that's what the law says, okay? Loans are given to students who study from either public university or chartered private university and other tertiary institutions offering diploma courses. The number of universities admitting students taking loans is now 25 this academic year, and I also further diploma awarding institutions. The approved academic for this year, the information will be easily available with the Secretariat and also a copy of our speeches if you will get it. Honorable Minister, sir, I would like to join the ED in congratulating Mutesa I Royal University and the University of Kisubi upon receiving their charters and for their admission to participate in the Students' Loan Scheme. Honorable Minister, the participating other tertiary institutions are reflected also in our report. As you say, there are many, and you'll be able to see them. The loans awarded to students shall cover students' loan fees, functional fees, research fees payable to tertiary institutions, and funds to cover aids and applications for persons with disabilities. These loans are paid directly to the institutions, not to individuals. Okay? So if your relative applies thinking they will get the money and do a bit of business while they go to school, that's not the case. It's paid directly to the institution. The funds for loan shall be disbursed directly to tertiary institutions and not to the beneficiaries. What is the way forward after after this session? All successful loan applicants shall be informed through SMS messages and the HESFAB website and other social media platform by today. All successful loan applicants shall be required to sign loan agreements with HESFAB. The loan agreement shall be dispatched to tertiary institutions and administered by staff of HESFAB. Finally, the loan amount shall be disbursed to respective higher learning institutions after execution of agreement and not, and I repeat, and not to the loan beneficiary. In conclusion, Honorable Minister, sir, we would like to pay special tribute to the following persons. The Honorable Minister of Education and Sports, and who is also our First Lady, for her continued support. The Honorable Minister of State for Higher Education, for gracing the occasion and supporting the board. Thank you, sir, for being here. The Permanent Secretary and staff of the Ministry of Education and Sports for the good working relationship. You're welcome, sir. All the participating universities and other tertiary institutions for the good and cordial relationship. The board members and staff of the Secretariat for doing their work promptly and putting in the extra hours to beat the deadline. Mr. Bossa and your colleagues, I want to thank you very much. Thank you all. The press for the continued sensitization of the public and coverage for the activities of the board, including this function. Thank you very much. I now take the pleasure to invite the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Education and Sports to make his brief remarks, and then in turn request the Honorable Minister of State for Higher Education to come and make his remarks, and then thereafter release the list of the successful loan applicants. Thank you very much for listening to me.
Muyingo, the chairperson and members of the board of HESFAB, the Commissioner for University Education and Training, members of staff of the Higher Education Student Financing Board, the press, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My name is Mukwata Mzamil. I'm Commissioner for Admissions, Scholarship and Student Affairs. I'm here to represent the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education and Sports, who has not been able to be here because of other equally important engagements at this time. She has given me a written speech, which I'm going to present to you. On behalf of the Ministry of Education and Sports, I wish to take this opportunity to welcome you Honorable Minister, and thank you for making time to attend this function when the Higher Education Student Financing Board is releasing the list of the 11th cohort of the approved student loan beneficiaries for the academic year 2024-2025. Since its inception in 2014, the Higher Education Students Financing Board has been delivering on its mandate to increase equitable access to higher education through the implementation of the Students' Loan Scheme. The Students' Loan Scheme was introduced as an alternative funding model to address gaps that were created by the success of basic education initiatives since the government of Uganda implemented the universal primary education in 1997. In a follow-up to the universal primary education program, government introduced the universal secondary education policy in order to increase access to quality secondary education for the economically vulnerable families. In 2012, government introduced the Universal Post-O-Level Education and Training Program, which also extended free upper secondary education to those who had completed elementary education. These initiatives came up as a result of the successes of the predecessors. Throughout these cycles of education, the Ministry of Education and Sports registered tremendous numbers of young people moving up the ladders of education. Soon there was need for another initiative to help increase access to higher education. Graduates from A-level examined by UNEB, business and technical education examined by UPTEP, and the nurses and midwifery studies under UNMEB and other allied health professionals examined by UAHEB increased tremendously and are currently close to 150,000 every year. The government merit sponsorship scheme is only able to sponsor about 10,000 students annually, and a big number of the remaining candidates need support to access higher education, and truly this is being achieved through the support offered by the Student Loan Scheme. While we have not had the funds to support all the applicants, I am happy to report that over 16,000 students have been supported under the Students' Loan Scheme in the last 11 years of operation, with a loan portfolio exceeding 120 billion shillings. This year alone, a total of 1,836 learners are going to be supported for both diploma and degree programs. I want to applaud the board for a commendable job well done. I'm happy to learn that this support has enabled the training of over 4,000 medical and health professionals, over 4,000 engineering and ICT professionals, and over 3,000 science teachers and agriculture experts, among other pure science professionals. I'm aware that the board, through their strategic plan, had a vision to support 3,000 students every year. I'm also aware that the board is experiencing pressure from beneficiaries to extend additional support to meet the welfare component. I would like to state that government will continue capitalizing the students' loan scheme as we wait for it to become sustainable. Efficient recovery processes in the long run will help the board to run sustainably and now focus on expanding the numbers supported. As I conclude, I would like to congratulate the board and staff of HESFEB on the great strides undertaken to support the needy students that has increased equitable access to higher education. I pledge the Ministry of Education and Sports support to the board to further the objective of the board to increase equitable access to higher education. I pray that God helps you to produce more fruits for the higher education students financing board. I thank you very much for your very kind attention. Welcome, Honorable Minister.
The chairman and members of HESFEB board, my colleagues from the Ministry of Education and Sports, I can see the acting, somebody standing in for the permanent secretary. I can see the commissioners. All of you, I recognize you, members of staff of HESFEB, my sons and daughters, the media, ladies and gentlemen. Muyingo John Chrysostom is my name. I stand here to represent the First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, who was invited to preside over this function and went up ahead to prepare. But due to the heavy schedules she has, she asked me to come and deliver her message, which I will do verbatim. First of all, on behalf of the Minister of Education and Sports, I take this opportunity to welcome all of you and thanking you for gracing this very important function where the Higher Education Student Financing Board is releasing a list of 11 cohort of the 11th cohort of the approved student loan beneficiaries for the academic year 2024-2025. I would like, therefore, to congratulate the board upon releasing the results for the 11th cohort of the successful loan beneficiaries for the academic year 2024-2025. The government of Uganda has registered yet another great milestone in achieving the education sector objectives of increasing equitable access to higher education. The government, under the leadership, the wise leadership of His Excellency the President, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, is very determined to increase access to education at all levels to end the problem of inequitable access to education. I must say, the government interventions have registered great success in UPE, USE, UPOLET, vocational education and higher education through scholarships, through scholarship scheme and the student loan scheme at higher education levels. The introduction of the student loan scheme is one of the fundamental changes brought about by the government of Uganda under the leadership of the NRM. Chair, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni General. This has resulted into increased access to higher education through the support given to learners who would not have afforded higher education. This initiative is also part of government of Uganda's commitment to address the Sustainable Development Goal number 4 of ensuring inclusive and equitable quality education for all at all levels of education. Achieving inclusive and quality education for all reaffirms the belief that education is one of the most powerful and proven vehicles for attaining sustainable development. This goal aims at achieving equitable access to affordable higher education training. Through the board, the government is supporting students that offer science, technology, engineering, mathematics programs, essentially for the current local job market that will drive the economic growth, innovation, and global competitiveness, while addressing pressing challenges and improving quality of life for the citizens of Uganda. Colleagues, this is the 11th year of uninterrupted students' loan allocation to students pursuing undergraduate degrees and diploma programs. With a available budget of Uganda shilling 7.25 billion for the first years, the board has been able to award loans to a total of 1,838, posting a success rate of 27.6. Through this is 27.6 of the total number of applicants who have shot, though this is 27.6 of the total number of applicants who have shot to 6,661. It is a sign that awareness of the scheme has tremendously grown amidst increasing number of students qualified to access higher education. The government of Uganda is determined to increase funding in the future such that more learners are able to achieve their educational dreams. It is also important to note that 43% of the successful applicants are females. 790 females out of the 1,838. This is good news. By the way, this is the highest percentage of successful female candidates since the inception of the scheme. I'm happy to note that, yeah, we need to clap for ourselves, people. It's a big achievement. I'm happy also to note that the board has this time exceeded the 30% affirmative action toward the female students since inception. I would like, therefore, to encourage the girl child to put in a lot of effort and study sciences and tap into the opportunities offered by government to study on government loans. I'm happy to report to all Ugandans, and more so my colleagues in Parliament, that the board has already taken the strides in ensuring that the loan beneficiaries have been largely selected on district quota system. 60% of the offers have been equitably distributed among the 137 districts of the country. This is commendable effort in the light of the direction towards ensuring regional balance in the offering of education opportunities to all Ugandans. I also note, and I wish to congratulate the board for so far awarding loans to a total of 16,439 students since inception. This is another great milestone for the education sector and the NRM government that is ensuring education for all at all levels. It's also a clear demonstration of the government's commitment of increasing the education levels in the country. These students would not have attained their education dreams if it wasn't for the government deliberate intervention of helping the poor parents. The Ministry of Education and Sports has noted that many students are seeking for loans to enable them pursue higher education. And this is displayed by increasing number of applicants, which today stands at 6,661 this academic year. We shall continue to increase the number of successful loan applicants as approved in the Ministry Strategic Plan under the broader strategic objective of increasing access to education at all levels. My ministry will work with the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development and of course Parliament of Uganda to address the challenges of funding faced by the board. They are asking for more. I'm happy to learn that 466, which is 25.4% of the awardees, are undertaking diploma programs across different disciplines. Diploma programs are mainly in the areas of science and technology, health sciences, and science education, and are attained at either a university or other tertiary institutions. The government of Uganda is putting emphasis on vocational studies because they play a vital role in preparing students for successful careers, addressing industry needs, and driving economic growth. I therefore encourage learners to take up these diploma programs since they emphasize hands-on learning, allowing students to apply theoretical knowledge in a real-world setting. I would like to applaud the board for taking special consideration for persons with disabilities. As I've been told that a total of 29 persons with disabilities, 20 are pursuing sciences, and 9 are for humanities. This benefited from the scheme, which is very commendable. The board is performing exceedingly well on the affirmative action front because persons with disability are considered as a special group because of the eminent problems they go through to pursue sciences. Colleagues, the board has to date awarded loans to 16,437 students from its inception, who are spread across 25 universities and 36 other tertiary institutions. I also welcome the newly chartered private universities on board, as indicated by the Executive Director, and I want to congratulate them for participating in this year's loan scheme application. As the learners take on the university loans, student loans, they are reminded, I want to remind them that these are loans. It's not a thank you for Kalulu, it's not a bursary, it's not a grant. This is money that has got to be paid back. And the reasons are very simple, and this must be paid back to create a revolving fund so that more learners are supported using the same funds. So, my dear students, the loan scheme is one way the government intends to reduce income inequalities and reduce poverty in families by supporting students to attain higher education and be productive in the future. The loans are awarded to needy students from poor households who are more likely to be out of school if it was not for the government intervention. I want to applaud the board for being very objective and transparent in selecting the loan beneficiaries. I therefore would like to call upon the loan beneficiaries to take their studies very seriously, read hard, and work to the best of your ability, and make sure that you pass with excellent grades. Because I'm told the board does not fund retakes, does not fund those who are repeating. As a beneficiary, you have no reason to relax on your studies. Your duty is just to read, since the fees is paid by government. Good grades, good performance will enable you to easily get jobs and be able to pay back the loans, so that other needy students also benefit from the same funds. As I end my remarks, permit me once again to thank and applaud the members of the Higher Education Student Financing Board and staff of the Secretariat for the tireless effort and work well done. I want to equally thank all the stakeholders, many people who contributed to what we are celebrating today: members of Parliament, Ministry of Education staff, Finance Ministry, universities, among others. I want to thank them for the continued support to the board and the ministry at large. I want to thank the press for the good work you are doing for this country, especially for our sector, education. It's now my singular honor to release the list of the 11th cohort of successful loan beneficiaries, totaling 1,838 for the academic year 2024-2025. I congratulate the successful loan beneficiaries, and I wish all of you success in your studies for God and my country. By the powers entrusted to me, I release the approved successful student loan beneficiaries list for 2024-2025 for God and my country.
Thank you so much. State for Higher Education for releasing the 11th cohort of the student loan beneficiaries. As it's a culture, Honorable Minister, permit me again welcome you back just for 2 minutes to put it in the Uganda version. Thank you so much.
Went for UPE and USE, where Uganda is one of the compulsory subjects. I don't know, we wish to invite, if there are questions, I will respond to the question. We would respond to questions. Sir. Otherwise, what is happening right now in Uganda, omukolo guno mukulu nnyo, tuzze okufulumya olukalala lw'abayizi gavumenti begenda okuyambako okuweerera ku matendekero aga waggulu, nga tukozesa ssente ezituweebwa zetuyita nga tuwolebwa ssente ezirabirirwa board ya student loans, Higher Education Student Loan Scheme. Nze nga minisita omulimu gunsanyudde nnyo, omulimu ogukoleddwa board ngusiimye nnyo. Lwaki? Kubanga abantu bagukoze n'okwagala n'obumalirivu, ne transparent.